boy, a smoker from the old Stone Temple Pilots. I have been a little negligent in my lessons, and I apologize, but I've been on a big Van Halen kick, going down the rabbit hole, playing my 12-string, learning things like Song Remains the Same. So it's been stuff for me, just because the stuff I'm learning right now, I'm not that proficient at it because it's so different. Whammy bars, mainly with the Van Halen and stuff, and learning, you know. So there are so many good lessons out there. That's why I'm still working on lessons, but I'm also playing for me. That Van Halen sound rabbit hole is something else. It's cost me a lot of money, but I'm having a blast. So thank you again for all the ads you let run. It really helps. And you know, you guys that have bought me a coffee, much appreciated. So today I'm doing Dead and Bloated. And again, this is kind of part of I'm going back to the 80s. I've been in an 80s kick. So, and even 70s with the Van Halen. And with that said, this song, I don't want to call it simple, but it's simple, but it's difficult. Let's call it that. Simple in the fact that there's really 3 parts to it. Difficult in the fact that how it's executed. And you know me, I research my lessons, and I think because it's perceived as being so easy, people have just glossed over some of the things that Dean plays in this that I think are really essential. 1, to his way of playing, and 2, just the whole feel of the song. STP is really about artistry. And so we're going to go over this song. Like I said, there's 3 main parts to it, and once you get them down in the timing, it's really a blast to play. So to start this song off, what we're going to do is play a D power chord, but we're going to add the A in the bass. So this is a D with an A over it, all right? So 5th fret of the 6th and 5th string, and the 7th fret of the 4th string. We're going to hit that twice with lightening it ring slightly. And you really want a saturated tone, a real kind of soldano tone, real. That's what I'm playing through. So part of the rabbit hole. But anyhow, this is the V30. And the overdrive is only halfway up. Okay, so D twice. Then we're going to do this really cool lick. We're going to be on the 5th and 4th string at the 5th fret, and we're going to add the 4th string at the 6th fret, and we'll pull off to 5. So it'll be both at 5. Then we slide that back to the 3rd fret. Then we come back to 5 and pull off to 3 and land on 5 on the 6th and 5th string now. All right, so we have this. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, he'll repeat that. Then he goes right back to the D twice. It's right to it. There's no pausing in this part, this first half of this section. Now, again, this is a little minutia. There's a slight, he's going to come back and just stay on the 5th fret of the 5th and 4th string. And he gives us a little vibrato, but he'll do that twice. Yes. So we're sliding back, and then we're hitting just the 5 and staying on it. Then we complete it with the very first one we did. And then the whole thing repeats. So that's the opening intro. That is what he plays during the verse. So for the chorus, we have two parts to it. And again, the first part, even the second, has some intricacies that I think get glossed over. So because it's simple, or perceived as simple. It's a B chord, sus2, a G, and an E. All right, but again, it's timing, it's execution, and it's that perceived, that difficulty that gives you the perceived easiness, if you will. So first chord, B sus2. So we'll be on the 4th and 3rd string at the 4th fret, and then bar across all the strings here at the 2nd fret. We're going to put that F sharp over this B sus2. All right, so we get more of just a bigger sound to this chord. And we're going to strike it. Let me play it for you and listen for the little intricacies. I won't go real fast. Okay, so it's all the timing of the chugs, which, you know, the tabs is palm muted. It's not really palm muted. They're deadened strings that are chugged. All right, so we've got our B suspended. We're going to hit that down, up, and then there's a down, up chug, and then a G. That G's held for slight, and then you're going to come with a down, up, down. All right, so we have this so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a pause after that second G. It's not just a down and then down up, okay? I'm sorry, I should have explained that better, but we have this again. Then there's 2 chugs, and then we're going to hit an E power chord, basically to the 3rd string. Then 2 more chugs and the E. All right, so coming out of the G chord, now we'll hit it 1 chug and then an E. All right, and then we hit another E. There's no chug between it. So we have this with the E's. And he stops between it. So you're thinking there's another chug, but it's not. Again, it's just slowing it down and listening. I think Ben Eller's got some really good videos talking about figuring out songs and really, really listening to what they're doing. You know, that's what I do. When I write out my notes, I follow what they're playing slowed down and what I've written out to see where it's maybe missing or needs some work. So that might help you if you try writing these out and listen slowly and see where you're missing. That's how I figured this rhythm out. All right, so we got 2 chugs, E, 2 chugs, E, 1 chug, E, pause, E. Then another pause and then a down, up, E. All right, so the E's. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so again, it's that forward motion and how it's done. All together, 1, 2, 3, 4. That whole thing 4 times, 4 measures. All right, then we're into part 2. Now, the way I wrote out my notes in part 2, I put some yellow highlight. I got a little explanation of what it is at the bottom. But the yellow is just for your timing. Because we're basically going to an F sharp power chord, and he's going to be kind of pulling off and then, not pulling off, but hitting the open E string while holding this 2nd fret of the 4th and 3rd, and then adding on. So it'll help with the timing. So this second half of the chorus, might even call it an interlude. I'm not really sure what it is, but again, let's call it a chord lick happens really 4 times. The first 3 are exactly the same. The last time, he just, instead of palm muting most of it, he lets off, builds up a bit, and ends it a little different because he's going into the verse. All right, so I'm going to play it for you. What we're doing is hammering in, all right, but the first time is not forming the F sharp. This is based on an F sharp power chord and then an E. All right, that's the basis of it. But what he does first is hammer on from open strings into the chord. Okay, it's not a. So we have this open 6th, 5th, and 4th hammered into 2nd, 4th, and 4th. As you hammer in, hammer on the chord, you're going to come in with your palm and mute and hit that chord. And it's muted when you come in because your hand comes down. All right, that is like the pickup, because the rhythm starts with a open 6th string and then down twice. So think of it 3 times. This is where I highlighted 0-2-2, and then not highlighted, then highlighted, and then the next one is a little different. He's going to come in just like he did, open to 2, but then he's going to hit the chord unmuted and then hit it on the 2nd fret of all the 3 strings. All right? And then an open back in. So that ends it. All right? So it's not pulled off. We do that 3 times. The 4th time, you're going to just let off the palm muting and then bring it up, or the palm muting less. Now to end it, on that very 4th time, he's going to come in and then all the way off. And that gives him time to come back and start the verse with the D with the A over it. All right, so the very last one. Okay, so let's go over the bridge and you'll have the whole song. Again, my notes will really help with this. Okay, so for the bridge, there's really 3 guitars going on. One doing more of a chorusy, cleaner sound. He's got a chorus going and he's playing this F sharp. You add your 3rd finger on the, or I'm sorry, your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, but you got the 1st and 2nd open. Alex Lyson used this in Xanadu. I think it was Xanadu. I know it's a chord he, I don't want to say made famous, but it's just a really pretty chord. And he's playing more of the top strings, while the heavier guitar is doing the chugging. And there is even another guitar that, if you listen to the isolated tracks, there's 2 real good ones. One is isolated, and that it cuts out the whole other guitar. All you hear is the slide. All right, he's going from an E up to a G and back to an E. That's all the slide is. But again, it's how it all works together. So you'll hear that. There's another one where I'm pretty sure they used AI to pull out the other parts, and you hear more of the chugging guitar still in the background. All right, so what he's doing is we're playing a B, then we take that down one half step with our first finger, then we do that with an A. All right, then he's going to go a G power chord, slid up to A, and then strike another G. Then this is where the slide guitar would come in, but you can kind of reference that by sliding in from the F sharp into the G and then hitting an E. And then palm muting 2 chugs. Because you're picking up where the other chugged guitar is. Now the second time he chugs 4 times. Alright, then he'll do that whole thing with the F sharp to G again. And the whole thing repeats. So that is the bridge. Then we have the third verse, then the bridge, exactly like we've done here, repeats. After it, think of it as kind of a turnaround. He just goes into the chugging, and it's palm muted. So it's one open and down with the F sharp. No hammering in or anything, it's just strictly coming in. All right, it's for a full measure, or 8 counts of one eanda. And then we're into verse 4, which is just like we learned, and then we end on our D with the A over it. Okay, so some little things that I think, again, if you couldn't follow in the video, it's in my notes. I really hope that helps. It's so much fun playing this heavy stuff. So I'll probably be doing more. So thank you again for all your support. Enjoy.